Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Wonderful Wednesdays with Wendy. I am your host, Wendy Wotecki, the Parent Support Connector at Mission Empower. Today we have Robert Tate from CareerLink with us. Robert is the Youth Talent Engagement Facilitator there, and he is going to let us know about what he does there and how it applies to us and how we can use his services. Welcome, Robert.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. Glad to be here today.
Coming. So, what on earth is a youth talent engagement facilitator? What do you do?
So basically, I'm basically what you call a teacher. So I do some of the trainings at the CareerLink. So the TDSs, which are talent development specialists, they would send the youth to me and I would help prepare them for employment. So basically, I take them to different trainings. For instance, we have workshops which are free to the public. So you can actually register for those workshops if you are registered in the CareerLink system. And of course, there's a CareerLink page that you would go into where you can do your usual job searching, where you can do resume building. You can upload your resume to that CareerLink page and other employers can actually see your resume from that page. So in order to get access to our workshops, I would either sign you up for it myself, or you could sign up yourself on your CareerLink page, which is what I call a CareerLink Facebook page. But you go to your calendar and then you would click on events and then you would register for that workshop. It gives you the actual facilitator or the person who's teaching it, the time, the day, the location, and then an actual link to that actual workshop. So when I do my specific workshop, it just depends on specifically what the TDS recommends that I take you through. So if I need to help you create a resume, I will do that. I will work with you one-on-one to create a proper resume. I will take you through some processes. I would show you how you could do it on the actual CareerLink page, or I can take you through a few different other venues of how to do it. Now, our goal is to help you to understand the purpose of a resume, how to create a resume on your own, because of course, we're not going to be accessible every single time you need help to create a resume. So we want to empower you to understand how to create it on your own time. So, because these are skills that you're going to need to understand and learn as you get older. So being able to create your own resume would be amazing. So that's kind of what one of our goals is, to help you with that. We also do mock interviews. So if you need help with interviewing, I know people are kind of afraid to meet new people, or they don't understand the whole interview process, especially if you never worked before. We will help you with that. And we tell you it's okay to make mistakes. We rather you make the mistakes with us than do it in the actual interview process. We also help you with job searching. So if you need help with looking for a job, we can help you with that. We can help you apply for the job. We can help you, upload your resume to that job site like Indeed.com or Monster.com, for examples. I mean, there's a ton of different things we do. We help you with stress management at work because, of course, it's right now with everything going on, it's kind of hard to balance everything with personal life and work. So we try to help you with that. We try to help you with being punctual, those soft skills, communication, time management, being organized, having a calendar, making sure you have your appointments set up properly. So all those, intangibles of being, successful in life, we try to prepare you for before you actually, start employment. So we want to make sure that you understand how important it is to have those specific soft skills before we get you set up for employment.
Robert, at what age do you start your programming and start helping youth? Like, how old do you have to be to reach out to you?
So you would need to be between the ages of 16 and 24 years old. And you also would need to be an out of school youth, because right now, the guidance counselors are what we lean on to kind of help you with those things, especially when it comes to applying for financial aid for college and different things like that. Now, of course, we can still help you with that, but our focus is out of school youth because we feel that the youth who are in school have more access to help and assistance than the ones who are out of school.
I see. So a senior that has graduated could reach out to you, though.
Yes, they could.
Okay. And so do you do any of the aptitude testing so you can help a youth figure out kind of what the career trajectory would look like?
Yeah, so we have a program and this is free to the public. It's called Tradeify. And that is one of those programs where you basically just take a test and they basically when you answer the questions that they provide you, they utilize the answer that you give to find what career path is most successful for you. So based on your answers and your personality, they utilize that to tell you, say, whatever answers you give, maybe you might be best as a firefighter, or maybe you might be best as a teacher or a doctor or a lawyer or paralegal. So it just based on the answer that you give, they kind of give you an idea of what career path you will be most successful in based on your personality and the answer that you give. And then we have another one called ONET as well. This is also the same thing. You answer questions, you give your, and these are multiple choice questions. It's not, so it's easier for you to answer it. And again, the purpose is just for you to be honest with the answers, okay? So based on those answers, they determine what career path you will be most successful in.
Excellent. And then, so because you do more of the teaching end of it, when you teach soft skills to these students, about how long does it take for you to go through that kind of a curriculum with a student that needs soft skills, like the time management and things like that?
Well, that's a good question. It honestly depends on the youth, in my opinion, because of course, some youth are more susceptible to understand and to grasp the idea of time management and different things like that. Being organized, communication than others. So, we try to take them through, or at least me personally, I try to take them through at least 3 different classes, but it could be 4, it could be 5, it could be 6. It just depends on the youth's ability to grasp this information and of course the communication. Because we want them to be successful. We're not going to stop when we feel like, okay, well, you're having issues. We want to continue to go on until until we realize and we believe that they understand it and they have a grasp of it, and that they'll be successful when they move forward.
Okay, and the same question when you're talking about the resume building, is that going to be a couple of sessions that they have to work through to do that resume building so they have a really heavy understanding, or is that something that could happen in a day? What does that look like?
So the resume building, I would say that's ongoing, because when you think about, we initially take them through a resume building workshop, okay, which we have a PowerPoint presentation, and of course, we do send you that presentation as a PDF document so that you can have access to that. The other thing is we will take you, we will take you through another meeting where we actually help you build that resume. Okay, so the initial meeting is understanding what the resume is and why it's so important and how to build it. And then the other meeting is to actually build it, and we actually walk through them with how to build that. Now, if they need other meetings or appointments, then of course we can set that up with them. But of course, our goal is to help them understand the purpose of a resume and how they can successfully build one themselves. And then of course, having a cover letter as well, because some companies, they expect a cover letter.
Of course. And so once you have done soft skills and they're feeling confident in this, and then you move into that resume, and now it's time to do that little bit of a job search. Do you teach them how to use LinkedIn and Monster and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we're here with them one-on-one, or it just depends on how they want to do it. We can do phone calls, we can do the meetings here that we do in person. We utilize Zoom, WebEx, Ring Central, and there's one more, I can't think of the name of it, but we utilize 4 different programs. I know Microsoft Teams is another one as well. So about 4 or 5 different programs. As long as you have a smartphone, a tablet, or a laptop, you can get access to these trainings or these programs, okay? And of course, internet access. So, and yeah, we have a couple different programs that we use. Like you said, you mentioned LinkedIn Learning, which is a phenomenal program. Now, this is free if you have a CareerLink account. We have the Academy, which gives you access to a ton of videos. We have about, and I might get the number wrong, we have about 16 to 18,000 different videos available to anyone to utilize with the Academy and LinkedIn Learning. Okay, so it's a very extensive program. There's a lot that you can learn on there. And with LinkedIn Learning, I tell people they actually will give you certifications for completing the training. Some of those programs, some of those trainings are literally 24-hour long trainings. I've seen 24-hour long trainings. It's amazing how much information is on LinkedIn Learning.
Yes, that's what I was going to ask you about next was what kind of learning and trainings do you provide with the credits at the end of it? So you do have access to those and they can talk to you about that specifically, what would benefit them, right?
Right. And again, we utilize that based on their interests. You know, our job is not to tell them what we think is best for them. We listen to what they think is best. And then, of course, we will mentor them or guide them into that specific career path or specific outcome that they're looking for. And, you know, and our job is to help them as best we can.
And then you can help them add those credits into their resume, right?
Well, it wouldn't be a credit, it'll be a certification. So yes, we can add that information to their resume. And of course, you know, they print out the document. So they give you a PDF certificate of completion whenever you complete those trainings. So you can take that to your interviews or whatever you need to just to prove that you have have completed those trainings.
Which is really super cool. And then one of the other things you do is this mock interviewing. So tell me how that goes, because I know, people are shy,
They
and
are.
how do you even get a youth to even start that mock process with you? It has to be a bit challenging, especially in COVID.
Well, yeah. So my main thing is just to ask them questions about what interests them. Okay. And of course you want to gain their trust. You know, that's the hard part is gaining their trust and just letting them know that you're actually here to help them. So once we get to that point, it's so much easier because then we can just let them know, okay, what do you want to do? You know, why are you, shy? And then we try to get to the root of why they're like that and help them understand, like, yes, you don't have to be that way, and just kind of work with them personally, because there's always different things of why someone's shy. You know, some people don't like meeting new people, or they don't trust new people, or they're, or it's just their personality. So we try to, at least me personally, I try to just get them talking about what interests them and let them know, like, that's literally what interviewing is about. It's about you exposing who you are to another person that you might not know. And it's just you building rapport with that person. Okay. So me building rapport with you is me asking you questions about things that might interest you. And then I continue asking you those questions because my goal is to just get you talking. That's literally all I'm trying to do, is just to get you talking about something, whether it's yourself, whether it's something that interests you, whether it's something you want to do in the future, whether it's a hobby you like to do. It's just getting you talking and then going from there. Because once you get to that point, then it's mostly smooth sailing from there. Getting them past their comfort zone and getting used to you. Okay, that's the whole point.
That's a really hard thing to do, and when you're
Mm-hmm.
young, to have to go into a job interview when you haven't had that experience, and with so many people out of work currently, I imagine when the world opens back up, there's going to be a mad dash and a mad competition over the jobs that there are left that are family sustaining jobs. So I imagine that's going to be really important for a young person to be able to handle themselves well in an interview. So
Absolutely.
we also wanted to touch on what do students need to do to become employable. So how do you help with that?
So of course the mock interview is important because you want to be able to go to the interview, or and show them who you are as a person, because again, they want to make sure that they have responsible individuals who can communicate well, who are able to get to work on time, who can do the job, who can learn how to do the job, different things like that. So we try to get them to that point to where they are work ready, with the soft skills. And then, of course, we'll introduce them to the supervisor, whoever that may be, depending on what type of job that they're interested in working in, okay? And that's where the work experiences come in, And then, again, if we need to do on-the-job training or job shadowing, we'll do that with them as well, just to kind of get them used to what they're going to be expected to do. And then, of course, the rest is really, up to them to just show up on time for work. Now, of course, we will definitely still be available if they are having issues. We communicate with the supervisors. We make sure that they are doing their job properly. And again, if they don't like that job, we will try to move them to a different job because, again, we want them to stay employed. Okay. So, and again, communication is so important with these things. You have to communicate with your supervisor. You have to communicate with the TDS or whoever you're working with. Okay. And the teacher as well. So you just definitely have to make sure you're communicating your feelings so that you can be successful.
Excellent, Robert. So I think we covered a lot of what your portion is at CareerLink as
Absolutely.
being a youth talent engagement facilitator
Yeah.
to get them engaged, to get them started in the process. Because, you know, there's many pieces, as we have interviewed Lisa Carney last week to find out what her portion was and how you guys kind of work side by side. But at the end, you kind of are getting a whole holistic program handed to a youth that is setting them up for the rest of their lives. What else
Absolutely.
do I need to know about what you do, Robert?
Well, let me think. Good question. At the end of the day, our goal is gainful employment. Like that's really the main thing of what we are here for. We want you to obtain the skills that you need to become employable, and then we also want you to find a well-paying job, you know, so that you can you know, have a better way of life. And of course, a lot of youth these days, they don't have that. They don't have those soft skills, or they've never worked before. So we want to make sure that we prepare them for gainful employment, because we don't want to take someone through a work experience and then within a couple of weeks or within a couple of days, they decide they don't want to do it and then they quit. So our whole goal is to help you find employment. And again, this program is for, you know, we have an adults program as well. I don't know if Lisa mentioned that, but yeah, we have an adults and we have a dislocated workers program. So we have adult TEFs as well, who also will take you through the workshops and help you gain those soft skills to become employable. And you know, we service 6 different counties as well. So right now, of course, with everything going on, we're mobile. So we aren't really, you know, we aren't meeting people per se in public because of everything going on. We want to keep everyone safe, but again, we do have the you know, the workshops, and we can help you, you know, if you have access to internet, you know, computer or whatever. Okay, so we do have that as well. And again, we're all available to assist anyone with questions or with any issues, especially with unemployment, because, you know, we have huge unemployment issues right now. People applying for, you know, unemployment and PUA and different things like that. So we're here. Everything is free to the public. We're funded by the Department of Labor, so you don't have to worry about paying for any of these programs. They're all free.
And how do we get a hold of you, Robert?
Well, let me see. um, I can put my phone number in the chat, and it is 814-315-2349. So 814-315-2349. That is my direct phone number for my work phone. And then my email is robert.tate@nwpacareerlink.org.
Okay, we have a question over here because it's time for questions. Do you do the paid work experience internships for in-school youth?
I don't believe we do for in-school youth. I mean, Lisa can probably give more clarification because our focus is out of school youth. And again, like I said earlier, because the youth have better access to, you know, the guidance counselors and different resources because they're already in school, we focus on the out of school because we believe that they need more assistance with our particular funding and our particular resources for what we do. Lisa says in-school youth work programs are available in some cases with the TANF program. Yeah, so temporary assistance for needy families does have that for in-school youth. Yeah. In some cases, got to make sure I say that in some cases. It's a case-by-case scenario, so.
Yes, and then you also have, I think, OVR does some of that as well. Do you work with pregnant or teen mothers?
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely. And then once again for Ashley, what was the age that you started with?
16 to 24 years old is the age group.
Okay, perfect. 16 to 24. I just wanted to reiterate that. And
So let me mention this real quick. We have supportive services funding, okay, and we have had instances where we've helped pay for daycare with our supportive services funding. So what you would need to do is talk, get access. If I don't know, if you have a CareerLink account or if you have access to anyone who works for CareerLink, but get in contact with someone from CareerLink. Like I said, I can help you, Lisa can help you, and we can, if you do need some kind of assistance because you are, pregnant, then we can definitely assist you with that.
can you talk a bit about how you work with a customer to help create a resume, especially those without a lot of work experience to list?
So resume building, there's so much that goes into it, but if you're talking about just the basic things, I utilize a program called ONET Online, and this is free to the public as well, and I'll put that in the chat. This program utilizes a specific industry language based on your career and based on what what a CNA does or an LPN does or someone with a CDL, truck driver or police officer or someone who works in the food industry or teacher. They use specific wording to match what your specific career path would be. So if you worked in the food industry, which I know a lot of youth have, McDonald's, Burger King, different things like that. I call them McJobs. They actually have specific job descriptions that would match what you did. So if you worked in the food industry, you just type in food service, or you would type in, line cook or something like that, and they actually will do a search basically based on the topics. There's different topics that you can choose from, and I can do a quick demonstration if you like. It's entirely up to you. But
sure, go for it.
Okay.
And Lisa says, ONET is great. I love the career exploration and options. And Rochelle is catching up. And Lisa, are you also with CareerLink? Yes, Lisa is also with CareerLink, and we interviewed her last week on Wonderful Wednesdays with Wendy. You can find that on our YouTube page at Mission Empower.
Yeah, so this is ONET Online. Again, this is free to the public. Anyone can use this, okay? So you type in an occupation over here to the right. So for instance, if I put teacher in, okay, it's gonna give me different types of teachers, okay? Now, I usually look at the one that says Bright Outlook because this usually is the most accurate, but again, it depends on what type of teacher. So, I'll click on special education teachers in preschool. And then if you scroll down to the tasks with this blue bar here, there are 36 different job descriptions of what a preschool special education teacher does, okay? And if you read, and I'll zoom in a little bit, if you read the wording, everything, the first word is always an action word, okay? So employ, teach, communicate, teach, develop, confer, teach, develop, observe, instruct, administer. But then if you go and you read the rest of the description, employ specific special education strategies or techniques during instruction to improve the development of sensory and perceptual motor skills, language, cognition, and memory. Now, try to teach that to like a young kid and tell them and explain what that means. But again, if you're looking for a nice job, this is the type of language that they're looking for. They want it to sound mature, they want it to sound clean, they want it to sound professional. So all the language on here: develop individual education plans, which is an IEP, which is what we also deal with, designed to promote students' educational, physical, social development. Okay, now, again, there's 36 different descriptions here. When I do it, I normally try to do 5 or 6, unless you've done 2 or 3 other jobs, then I might go, 10 different tasks. But if I go up here, just as another example, and I got a few here. So server is a big one with the youth today, server. So food service, non-restaurant, first one, bartenders, cooks, institution, cafeteria, waiters, waitresses, food service managers. There's a ton of different information. So I'll click on the first one. Food service, non-restaurant, for example, 14 different job tasks. Place food service on plates or trays according to orders or instructions. Examine trays to ensure that they contain required items. And again, this is the language that someone who works in the food industry, this is what you want to put on the resume. and they don't cover every single job duty that you've done, but they do cover a large portion of it. Okay. So yeah, so what I do, I use this, I tell individuals this is free to the public. I let them study this. I show them where they need to search for that particular task that they've done. So for example, here's a dishwasher, search dishwasher. There's dishwashers there. There's dining room, cafeteria attendants. That's probably restaurant work. But yeah, click on dishwashers, 13 different tasks for dishwasher. Yeah, I mean, most of those, career paths or job duties are in here. I can't say they all are, but there's a large amount of different job duties and tasks that are on here. And they give you other things like different skills you might need for dishwashing, active listening in case there's people giving you instructions or telling you different things and they have to yell over all the sounds in the background or in the back. Different abilities you might need, manual dexterity. You definitely need to have dexterity to do dishes, near vision, control, precision. You don't want to drop a ton of silverware and plates, and lose your job. Work activities, communicating with supervisors, peers, and subordinates. And this is just extra information that you will need to be successful at work, okay? Work context, spend time standing. Yes, you're gonna spend most of your time standing in the dish room, So yeah, there's just a ton of information available on this website that you can utilize, And again, everybody's different. Is this a realistic job you want to do in the next 5 years, or do you want to do something different? Because some of these jobs are, again, these are just open doors to just obtain those soft skills. So when you do go to another job, you can use those soft skills and take you to that other, job. And hopefully it's better than this one, doing dishes, because I've done it before and I can say it wasn't my favorite job.
So I want to say thank you again for coming on Wonderful Wednesdays with Wendy. It was my pleasure to interview you about your job, which once again was the Youth Talent Engagement Facilitator at the Career Link here in Erie. So thank you so much, and
thank you.
I hope to see you all again. Have a great day.